Tony was too gracious with his comments, but let me here get things a little bit in order. And first, I think before some of my comments, please join me in giving a round of applause to Tony for 6 years here as Dean of the school. He's done a wonderful job. We're delighted to have him. And thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today. So why am I here? In between you and Tony granting you a degree, and then you going out into the city and having a glass of champagne with your family and friends that are all around here. And so I know that I'm in between you and that, and so I will make my comments short. First, as you know, I associated with UCLA Anderson in 1984 when then Professor Al Osborne, who later became a dean, asked if I'd put together a course in entrepreneurial finance. And I was really translating a 25-year career in finance that I had before. And at that time, entrepreneurship was not considered a proper academic subject as it is today. And the vast majority of faculty were research-oriented. And there were not many adjunct or experienced people on the faculty here. And I told Al I'd try and see if I was any good at it and then do it again. And this is my 39th commencement year. I've taught more than 8,000 students and been awarded 10 teaching awards here at the school. And oh no, you're kind. But I felt after that first award that I had found a way that I could give back to society and make a difference. And so I decided to stay here and commit to Anderson and assist it as I could. Since that meeting with Al, I have spent 40 years at Anderson creating teaching courses that, as Tony outlined, include ethics and leadership, entrepreneurial finance, the first course, and the student investment fund. I've also taught 100 field studies or capstone courses, which is for the audience to know as a 2-quarter experience in the second year with 4 students in each team. And I think I deserve a medal for that. I've been here so long that I've even taught the children of some of my former students, which is unusual. I've sat on the boards of the school, some of its centers, its alumni association. I've advised student clubs and associations and helped hundreds of students find jobs. And I've donated, as Tony said, my entire salary and more to Anderson for each of those 40-plus years. Needless to say, I think I know a little bit about Anderson and how it works. But I know particularly the people that have gone to school here and graduated, and they are some of the best and most gracious people in the world. So today, I thought I'd share with you some thoughts, which you might say is wisdom, much of which comes from my Midwestern background and from my experience in working in finance and then teaching. To begin, students, always do your best. Your learning does not end when you leave here at Anderson. You will continue to learn through friends, work, family, and refresher education. Please make the most of these opportunities and do not let others down. Be the best team player on a winning team. Always do your best. Second, remember integrity counts. It is and was important for me to create and teach the ethics elective here in this school. And I'm glad the subject has begun to find its way into the school's core curriculum. But remember, ethics is about right and wrong. It is not just about bias and justification. We all know that it is just plain wrong to kill another person, except in self-defense. just as it is just plain wrong to submit an expense account or claim with inflated or unspent expenses. When an act or opportunity appears to be gray or questionable to you, avoid being involved. Integrity is learned by one's thoughts and actions over time. Integrity and trust can be lost by one mistake, and once lost, it is difficult, if not impossible, to regain. So always try to act with integrity. Third, always look for the best in every person and stick with great people forever. Everyone you encounter has something to contribute to your well-being and activities. Maintain relationships. Stay in touch with your classmates and fellow workers. Do not burn bridges unless you perceive a character flaw or poor judgment, and even then, don't divulge your thoughts. Trust others the way you would like to be treated. And remember, artificial intelligence is just a tool, and people are how things get done in an organization's culture. Fourth, be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs pursue opportunities to make the world better. They conceive ideas, they test the idea's feasibility and its value in the marketplace, and then acquire the necessary resources, launch and act on the venture, and finally come to a harvest through either profit, social impact, or exit. An entrepreneur is really a general manager in the functional areas of business, leading creative teams and effective teams in communicating the value proposition of the good or service that they are creating. So be entrepreneurial in what you do. And fifth, remember cash is king. Okay? Cash flow is not accounting income. Cash in your pocket or the business is to be protected and sheltered. Cash is king. And finally, as you travel through life, some family things to remember. Pay attention to and nurture your partners, your children, and your family. Husband your resources and spend wisely, including 401k maximizing. Travel often. Be a citizen of the world. As Tony said, I've been in 80-odd countries in my lifetime. So to summarize, always do your best. Integrity matters. Look for the best in people. Stay in touch with great people over time. Be an entrepreneur. Cash is king. And nurture your family. And just before I give up this microphone, a couple other thank yous, in particular to the people that helped put together the Price Center, to Al Osborne, now Dean, Big Al. A round of applause for Big Al. He's not here today, but he's been my partner in crime and doing things. And also a round of applause, if you will, for former student and now Dean Elaine Hagan, who has been also a Price Center, and Olaf Sorensen, who took over from Al when he retired along with me. And finally, for my loyal assistant, Jennifer McMillan, who has been here with me 30 years. It's amazing. A round of applause for Jennifer, too, huh? And so as a parting thought, as you take your intellect from here and your physical prowess, go find a niche where you can apply your personal abilities and resources to make the world better without necessarily seeking compensation, but rather the satisfaction that you have contributed to a way to make the world better. I'm making sure I say the right words. You committed your resources to an endeavor that will improve well-being in mankind. Give back and make a difference. My 40 years of teaching and giving back at UCLA have permitted me to to repay a debt to education which prepared me to do the things I have done. My difference will be through the 8,000 plus students I have taught and assisted and their contributions to improve society, not mine, but theirs. Remember, students, that givers are the only happy people in life. And most of all, remember that Anderson is a very special place. Have fun, go Bruins, and go Anderson. Thank you very much.